Alright guys, got another review of a survival knife finally. I know you guys have been wanting my another fixed blade review. So this is the Cold Steel Bushman, and this is a great little fixed blade. I really like it. I guess it's not that little, but I got some wood on it there. Been testing this, as you can see, and I've come away very impressed. It's really, for the money, it's an excellent buy. And it's just incredibly durable and reliable and lightweight. So let's get into the blade here first. This is really kind of a knife that I just see as, it's going to be something you're just going to carry with you on a day hike. Maybe more of an extended trip if you're really weight limited. You're carrying a lot of gear. And the blade on here, because it's so thin and it's only 2.5 millimeters thick. That means that this is really not a good chopping blade. You don't want to have to hack through anything with this. It just doesn't have the weight. The knife itself weighs 9.8 ounces, so it's fairly lightweight, and you just don't have a lot of blade weight there to really hack through stuff. So I would highly recommend pairing this with some sort of saw, whether it's like the sawvivor, which I have now. I've been testing it. That's a good saw. Maybe it's just like a wire saw, something to cross-cut efficiently, because this is not something you want to cut with. But once you have your cut lumber, then this makes a great battoning knife, something that you can split that wood up with to get to the dry inside. And some conditions you don't need to do that. You can just scavenge and find wood and branches or whatever, and that'll burn. Other times, in moisture environments and stuff, you actually need to split those logs and get to the internals to where the wood is still nice and dry. So this has done a pretty good job, and generally, I think the thicker blades do a little bit better job at battoning and cracking that wood open. But this did better than I would have expected for how thin it is. It really wasn't that much worse than something like this. Now this is a large knife. This is the Cold Steel Large Heavy Bowie. This thing makes easy work out of lots of stuff. I really like that long blade. It spans logs easily. It's easy to get to. It's thick, splits well, but it's significantly heavier. So if you can take the weight, go with something much more capable like this. But if you can't, if you're running lightweight, then this will get the job done. So the blade on there, it's thick enough for the purposes. It gets the job done. Just a little bit more work. Now I do like this Bowie shape on here. They also make another version that doesn't have quite as much metal on here. It's more of a clip blade, or I don't know how to explain it, but just look it up. It's just a little bit less steel on here. I like this version just a little bit better. I feel like it just adds a little bit more strength to the knife. If you are just trying to go absolutely ultra lightweight, maybe look at the other version. I think it'll be completely durable enough. I just kind of like the look and feel of this one just a little bit better. So the coating on here, it's the black coating I found has been fairly durable. Obviously you get wear right there at your transition, just like you do on any finish. But the kind of epoxy finish they put on here is a good coating, and that's good because the steel on here is an SK5 steel. That's a high carbon steel, and there's nothing wrong with it. I like the steel. It holds the edge well. It's easy to sharpen, just like most high carbon steels. It's a good tough outdoor steel, but it will rust. It's not a stainless steel, so you're definitely gonna want to keep a little oil on this blade, especially in moisture environments. And that coating will also help protect the knife. Now your edge on there, I really like the relief edge they put on there. It's easy to sharpen and fairly durable. As you can see, the edge rolled just a little bit right there. Probably just hit something harder. That's alright though, it'd be easy enough to take out with a sharpening stone. And the edge held up great. I really liked the way this thing cut. It's fairly sharp, and that hollow grinding did a good job at giving it a good edge. I would maybe hope that they would have moved that hollow grind up just a little bit further and started it just a little bit higher up, just so you have a little bit more gradual move to the edge, or maybe even better yet, just flat ground it. But you know, it was good enough, and it's such a thin blade anyway that you kind of want to keep some strength in there. So I was happy with it. The point on there is strong enough. I wailed on that thing pretty good, and it never broke, never flexed. The blade, you know, it's thin, but it's very sturdy. Now the handle on here is just a rolled steel, and as you can tell, it's all one piece. This entire knife one piece, so they just rolled it over, welded it here, and so it's really very durable design, because there's no screws, there's no Krylon, there's nothing here to go wrong. It's all just one big piece of steel. So it's very, very rugged and foolproof, really. So the handle was nice, and contrary to what you might think, I didn't get a lot of shock or anything through the handle. Now that could have just been with, you know, had to do with the wood that I was splitting, but I was splitting hardwoods, you know, hickory, things like that, and I wasn't really getting any shock through the handle, so it did a really nice job. Now this is, you know, a 7-inch blade, so it's really kind of a mid-sized knife, but you know, I was able to split logs that were, you know, big enough that I feel this would definitely be a really good survival knife to carry. So the other nice thing about the handle is that because it's hollow like this, you can put a shaft in there and make this into a spear. And that's not something I tried, but if you check out Cold Steel's demo on this knife, they do a really good job at showing some of the capabilities of it. They throw it like a throwing knife, which is probably not something I'd recommend, but it stood up to it. And they also put shafts in here and threw these like spears, and as you can tell in the video, the blade flexes a little and everything, but the knife holds up. It doesn't break. So I really like that you can put a spear shaft through there if you wanted to. It adds extra capabilities and extra options to your kit. And you know, if you had to, you probably could take something like maybe a deer or a moose or something with this. If you got them trapped in high snow, you know, if you got them in just the right situation, you could use this as a very effective spear. Also, you could just use it as a defensive weapon. You know, if you had a oh, I don't know, if you had to defend yourself from a bear or a cougar or something, and you had this thing already set up as a spear laying around, it'd definitely be better than your bare hands. So I really like that. The lanyard hole right here is big enough that you can fit paracord through there, but if you're making this into a spear, you could also put a screw right through there to help secure it. You could probably also put one right there, and that'd make it a pretty rock solid attachment. The lanyard on here, I definitely recommend putting a lanyard on there. While the handle's well designed and I like it, there's not a ton of traction on here. It flares out, you know, just a little bit as you go, but I definitely recommend putting a lanyard on there, especially if there's other people around as you're using this. You don't want to go flinging a sharp object at them. So moving on to the sheath, it's just a basic sheath. There's nothing really all that special about it. It's nylon. I do like that. I try to avoid leather at all costs, pretty much in the outdoors, because it just soaks up moisture. So this is just a nylon sheath with some, you know, plastic lining in there. Not plastic lining in here, but I'm saying just plastic sewn in for rigidity. And so the knife just slides in like that. It's basically just a friction fit, and it's been good enough for me. The knife never fell out or anything. And on the front here, you have just a little bit of a pouch, so that's nice. You could put stuff in there. I'm not big on, you know, making kits around my knife. You know, I don't usually use these pouches, but it's flat enough that it never really got in the way or anything. You could put, you know, a sharpening stone or something in there if you want to. And your belt loop is right here. So there you go, just thread it through. It's not quick attach or anything like that, but when you get to the price point, these things are going right around 25 to 30 bucks. That's very, very affordable, and for what you get, which is a rock solid, reliable, capable survival knife for 30 bucks, that's excellent value. I mean, this thing, the sheath's not quite as good, but it rivals capabilities of things like my SA6, and this is a $120 knife. So I mean, the durability I've just been very impressed with. It's just hard to find a $30 knife that's as capable as this one. So I really like that, because especially in the outdoors, you know, stuff happens to your gear. So it's nice to have stuff that's, you know, somewhat disposable. That's not going to be a huge loss if you lose it or if you break it or whatever. So if you have any questions about the knife, feel free to leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to help you out. I'll maybe give you a little bit of a size comparison to some other survival knives, just to give you an idea. So this is the Bushman. That's the K-Bar Large Heavy Bowie. Here is the SA6. However you want to say that. I know people are going to scold me and say it's not SA, it's SA, or I don't know how you even say it. But I'll say it how I think it should be. Whatever. It's not that important. That is the Gerber Profile, so a little bit smaller knife still. And that's kind of a size comparison for you. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to leave that. I'd be happy to help you guys out. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe if you like what you saw. And everyone have a nice day.